This is going to be a very brief match reaction from your UFC 360 podcast to our away 1-1 draw at the Parc des Princes against PSG, and what I thought was a very strong, very positive performance in a lot of ways, and a great result considering we were at a first minute penalty given against us near enough and we went one down. I thought we really grew into the game. The last 20 minutes of the first half I thought we had a bit of possession. I thought we played really well. I thought we gave a decent account of ourselves, and then quite rightly, quite deservedly got our goal. Came back into it nicely in the second half as well. I thought the second half was, they still had a lot of possession, but in terms of chances I thought it was fairly even. There's even talk at one point that we could have had a penalty. I don't know, from where I was I have no idea whether that was the case or not. I thought Lewis Miley was absolutely outstanding tonight. I also thought that Jacob Ramsey had his best game for Newcastle by quite some distance. I thought he was absolutely fantastic in midfield, and I suppose you've got to give Nick Pope some credit for, well, so a lot of credit actually, for saving a penalty and commanding his area fairly well and coming to grab some high balls. Okay, so I'm getting moved out. I'm going to have to go. That's very brief. Bye. Hello, sorry about that. That was about as long as I could get filming in the ground before the staff very kindly asked me to leave. So just a little bit more thoughts on the game. I thought when I saw that penalty to begin with, my initial thought was to go up and shout for a handball against PSG. And I've heard people say, although this is preface this by saying I haven't seen any replays or anything, but that have seen it again and have said it was extremely harsh. So goodness knows what happened there. I'll have to watch it again, but my initial reaction was, I cannot believe that's a penalty. But there we go. But in any event, justice was served, which was by what looked like a great save by Nick Pope to that one. I thought their goal was quite similar to the goal they conceded the other day, because it was another example of somebody finding themselves in space, like against Villa, on the edge of the box, and us not pressing, not getting out, and them getting a decent shot off. But apart from that, in 90 odd minutes worth of defending, I cannot be critical of anything really. I thought we defended extremely well, and as I was saying earlier, I thought Miley, who had a very tough opponent get up against him with Bradley Barcola, who started quite brightly, but then I thought eventually Miley got the measure of him, and then he seemed to, I think they eventually had to change their entire way of attacking and their formation. And I think that was no coincidence that it was because Miley was doing so well against Barcola. Remainder of the second half, as I was saying earlier, I think we grew into it nicely for the last 20 minutes, and obviously got our goal. Absolutely delighted for Joe Willock, because he's had a tough couple of years, and to be a Champions League goal scorer and to put in a very good performance himself away from home, I am chuffed to bits for that lad. It looked like, I thought at one point he got a second, and I have no idea whether it was offside, but I've been assured it was comfortably offside, which is a little bit of a shame. But apart from that, great performance from him. Second half was, I thought, a solid defence from us, and then various attempts to try to break. Gordon had a decent shot. Barnes had a couple of chances, and the most frustrating one was that late one on 89 minutes, was it? he is leaning back. It's a snapshot, but it wouldn't have been the worst, the toughest chance really. I think he would have probably disappointed himself that he didn't score, and I certainly was, because I was halfway up about to go mental, as was the entire away game at the end. One last thing, I thought it's a very strange atmosphere at that ground, because you cannot hear yourself think in that away end for some bell with a drum, and they seem to have some kind of cheerleader in their end as well, telling them what to sing and what to do. So on telly I have no idea whether you could hear Newcastle's end at all, but as you can hear from my voice, we did our best to make a bit of noise. Hopefully it came across a little bit, but it was also quite a nervy away end in the second half. I think the longer it went into it, and I started to believe that maybe we could get an even better result than we did. The nerves started to get to me particularly, and maybe a nervy end is not always the loudest one. But anyway, fantastic result, good performance, something to build on, and we go into Liverpool away, which will not be easy. I'm old enough to remember and to have been at an away win at Liverpool before in 1995, so you never know. We've got to get one day, and who knows, why not after that get performance tonight, why not this weekend, and why not one in the eye against a certain rat who's left us there. You never know. Anyway, good night. Hope that everybody who's at the game enjoyed themselves. Hope that everyone who's watching at home enjoyed themselves, and everybody gets home safe. Good night.